All right, guys. I didn't think I was gonna go live, but I just had some things on my mind, and this was the spur of the moment live. So, one thing I want to say is that when we look at the geopolitical situation in Africa, um, it's hot. High time is now. We have no choice but to really take advantage and get on code with what we need to get on code with. And I'm going to say what we need to get on code with is we need to get on code with the fact that the tide is changing. We need to adjust ourselves to that tide that is changing, you know. And so the thing is that the thing is that with that tide changing, as Nipsey said, small circle, everybody can't go, right? And the Western woman definitely cannot go. Because I'm going to be honest, one of the reasons why I made this live stream is for the simple fact that, the majority of these women don't even know about geopolitical and like basically strategic locations in Africa, and they don't care to know such. All they care about is, what they want. It's all about them. you know um a lot of them think that by going to Africa they're going to get the queen treatment, but they're getting a rude awakening daily. You know what I mean? Just give me a second. I want to do something. First and foremost, I want to say, shout big ups to the Nigerians out there, because I am a very, very big fan of football, soccer, and one of the guys, he's a good player, man, and he actually clinched a championship for the top flight Italy teams. And so yeah, he's good, man. He's very, very good, and I'm just paying homage to him. Yeah, just give me a minute. So one thing I want to say is that many, like, for example, I was just posting on TikTok, and I'm trying to keep this still on the transition. I want to still keep it on the transitioning to the topics that I will be talking about more, the geopolitical spectrum of things. I'm trying to keep it in that range, but I still have to kind of like touch on these topics because they kind of relate to the geopolitical aspect. you know um when you really look at, for example, what we need in Africa is we need people who have skills. We need people who can teach these skills and things like that. We don't need like people who are just going to not only take and expect certain privileges, but are also going to disrupt society as well. What I mean? We don't need those kind of people. um we don't need those kind of people. Hold on just a minute. All right. So anyhow, what I want to say is that um with this like with things that are happening, okay, because I'm going to be honest, Africa is going through a lot of inflation right now. And the reason why Africa is going through a lot of inflation right now is because the dollar is inflated. I'm not going to even cap. The dollar is hecka inflated. All right. In fact, as it stands right now, I believe the countries of Nigeria and Ghana are having a currency crisis right now. You know what I mean? And so, with that being said, um, what possibly with these, like, what possibly would they be able to add or contribute to the country? I don't think they can really do much. What do they contribute to this country? You know what I mean? Like, it's, and you look at it and you actually look at like that America, I'm gonna be honest, is pretty much ran by women. You may have Joe Biden in the White House, but you look at all his assistants and you look at everybody who is running the White House, and it's mostly women. It's been a while since I've actually seen another man be in the White House, but that's beside the point. I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to go into some things. Now, this woman right here, I think she was in Tanzania. Mind you, she has 2 kids. Okay. So I think what she got the impression of is that she was just going to go to Tanzania, like get chosen by an African man and just run off into the sunset. But the thing is an African man is going to look at things and see, what the best deal is. And not only is he going to see what the best deal is, he's going to think long term. That's the thing about even me. Like, I think long term, you know what I mean? I don't just think about I'm a son of the moment, but I'm also a son of like uh like a vision. You know what I mean? I have like a vision of things that I have in mind for myself. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, you know. Now, I'll give you another example of the shift that's happening. I mean, in Nigeria is a very, very Western place. Don't get it twisted. Nigeria is an ally, like the United States is an ally of Nigeria. Okay. My Nigerian friend just told me Western Union doesn't work there anymore. And I find that quite odd. So you see that the shift is happening slowly but surely. Because what do you usually send to Western Union and is converted to the local currency? Uh, you send uh, dollars and it's converted to naira. Now, what's happening is bank policies are saying we're done with that. So the shift is coming, but let's get into this.
To me. I am not one of these women that are like, I don't need a man. Mm-mm.
But you were that before because I mean you have 2 kids, you know what I mean? So like you were that before. you have two kids, you know what I mean? And so with that being said, you had that mentality, you had that footprint before.
Actually needs and wants a man, and knows that that is something he is on his way. And yeah, that's very important to me. And my experience in Tanzania was great, but I wasn't necessarily open at the time. My whole purpose in going initially was to rest, to reset, and to focus on myself and rebuild myself from the inside out so that I could be this divine feminine woman that I am. And the
And so the thing is, you can like, that's another thing that um I think the BRICS policy in Africa is so important to us is because of the narcissism of the West. You know what I mean? Like the the West is a very narcissistic place, and the West is a very condescending place to Africans. Okay, so when you hear them talk about when you hear them talk like this, I don't know if they realize it as such or not, but what they're like secretly telling you is that they're narcissists. It's that they're self-absorbed. They're on their high horse. That's what they're kind of like lightweight telling you when they talk like in this way. You know what I mean? Like, so this is the reason why, and then when they use the word divine, you know, I'm gonna be honest, like most Africans that don't even refer to themselves as gods, this concept of God and stuff like that, this was something that was never even in, like, let's just say, it was never in, uh, it was never in like our esoteric knowledge, even pre-Islam. There was never like no just God, what they call like a God body complex. That didn't exist. You know, as much as I know, that didn't exist. Like a God body complex did not exist in the I want to say in the in our ancient systems. You know what I mean? Even when you look at Kemet, even when you look at all these Maya and stuff like that, there was really no like God body or divinity um when it pertained to men, when it pertained to like regular men, there was never any of that. So when you hear like, and that's another thing about the Western countries is, since most of them don't worship God, they think they are God. And so this unfortunately trickles down to the women. You know what I mean? But let's continue.
best representation of what that looks like for my two girls. And I achieved that. Although that is a lifelong journey, I set out to achieve that. And that's what I achieved. And in the process of, I made, some connections and some relationships with some fellows and some gentlemen that were amazing, very divine, very handsome, charismatic, chivalrous. I will say that the men in Tanzania are very chivalrous and very, very caring and loving. But I will say that they marry pretty early. So, unlike places like the West or in the US, where
So, yeah, that's the thing. Like in most traditional African societies, we get married pretty early. Like there's only like certain situations, like my own situation. Like if I was back home in Africa, I would have been married by now. You know what I mean? Like, and this is a mistake for me because I was putting it off. Like I even had like two friends who said, "Hey, I have my sister for you. Hey, I have my wife's sister for you." But I kept on putting it off. That's the problem. I kept on putting it off because I was in this conundrum down here. You know what I mean? But um the thing is that the writing is on the wall, and an African man, he's gonna be hip. You know what I mean? He's gonna be hip. So he's gonna know, like, okay, well, you have two daughters. Why aren't you married before? You know what I mean? Like, that's what they're gonna say. So this is why, in the long run, it may be good for us, because the thing is like, we don't need an influx of single mothers coming to Africa. Like, what value are they going to add?
Where, it's not really encouraged to get married young. It's like, oh, I'm working on myself, I'm working on my career. And you look up and you're in your 30s or your 40s or your 50s.
Billionaire Ray Dalio believes in 3 simple words: cash is trash. So where might be a better option for you to hold your cash instead? Well, for me, one of the best options is fine art.
And you don't start working on a family. No, that's that's not the case in Tanzania. And from what I understand, much of Africa, it is a very family-centered culture. Your success is in your ability to create generations, not just generational wealth for no generations. It is very important to have family.
So the thing is about Africa, and that's why the population is still growing in Africa. Like, we don't, like, in traditional places, they don't have a population control problem. Like, they don't have a population shrinking problem in these places. You know what I mean? Like, so with that being said, um, with that being said, it just goes to show you, like, how things are working. Okay. Um, so, like, yeah, like, when you think about it in that kind of way, this is like the times we're living in. This is how it works. It works like this, where the economics are important. That's why we're doing BRICS. It's because, the revenue is important to us. We need to change things. We understand that as Africans, right? But the thing is that this is why they don't match with us. Coming from like a capitalistic society, coming from a society which is just gimme, 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 coming from a society which is take, 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 it's not going to mesh well over here, over in Africa. Coming from a society that is boss babe society, it's not going to work. You know what I mean? And so this is why she found herself in the situation she's in, because she was under that programming.
And to procreate and bear children. And so that's something that is taught very early on. So most of the men in their 20s are married. By their 30s, they're married with multiple children. And so as a woman in her 30s, the men that I did meet, they were either all in relationship or were lying about being in relationship. And I will say this, not maybe maliciously lying, but not wanting to disappoint, which is something that I've learned in the Tanzanian culture that is very prevalent amongst many things, personal and professional, but that is a story for other days. Yeah, so very young, they tend to be married very young. And also, Tanzania is a very spiritual, and I'd really even say religious country. The primary religion that's practiced is Islam, Muslim religion. There is a huge population of Christianity as well. I might say, and don't quote me on this, it's probably about a 60-70% Muslim community, and the remainder Christianity. And that is primarily because Tanzania, when it was initially colonized, was colonized by the Oman, which is an Arabic.
No, that's not correct. The reason why Tanzania is Islamic is because of the simple fact that, I mean, you had ancient trade routes that went back for many thousands of years. And, not only did Arabs go to Tanzania, but you had just different groups of people passing through Tanzania who were on their way to Hajj, on their way to pilgrimage, who had to go through Tanzania in order to get there. So, no, the only place that was colonized by Arabs is Zanzibar, which was at one time part of Tanzania, or no, yeah, was, I think it's now part of Tanzania, but before it was its own separate entity. Zanzibar was a completely different thing. I think what happened is the British decided that they wanted to bring Zanzibar together. That's what I think happened.
People, which a lot of people don't know. And within that religion, dating a man who is Muslim is totally prohibited. So dating is not something that is really allowed. Does it happen? Yes. But rarely will you be introduced to family or really taken seriously unless there's a conversation about being interested in converting and actually converting and doing all of changing your name and all.
So I don't agree with that. And I think that us as Muslims, we need to clean that up. I don't believe that you should try to convert a woman to I don't think you should try to convert a woman to marry her. I don't agree with that. I think that what you should do is you should just basically let her be. Like that's the thing. Like um they're gonna find their way. You know what I mean? And this is just the way I feel. That's me personally. You know what I mean? I just feel that way personally. That you shouldn't like try to convert them.
All of that. And it wasn't that I was totally opposed to that,
I really believe a great photograph, it makes you feel viscerally alive. It makes you
but it wasn't something that I was really going to do that soon. If I'm just being honest. And I was open, and I'm still open, right? Like I'm still open to it. I consider myself a very spiritual being. So the constructs of religion are a little dicey for me. Spiritually, I am whole and I believe in God and all of those things. And we'll address those topics maybe in a.
No, so like that's what I'm saying. These are the type of women you should avoid because though Walaikum salam rahmatullah barakatuhu. These are the type of women you should avoid, the ones who do call themselves spiritual and things like that, because in their whole esoteric system, they're following a dead system, right? They're following a failed system that really does not work. So what I'm saying is that it's best for you not to like go down that rabbit hole with them. Um, these are red flags when they use the word I'm spiritual and things like that. I'm in tune, I'm connected. Because people who are spiritual, in tune, or connected, they usually don't say that they're in tune and they're connected. You know what I mean? If they must mention their spiritual status, what they'll usually say is that I'm trying to get in tune. I'm trying to get connected with the one, you know. Well, let's continue.
Later video if it's of interest, but subscribing and converting to a religious construct is just not something that I see in my future. So that pretty much, made it not as easy, and not something that I was really willing to go down. And then the last thing was lifestyle of the partner that you're choosing or that's choosing you. And I will say this, I'm a professional woman. I have traveled the world. I enjoy some of the finer things as an elegant lady. And Tanzania as a
Yeah, like this kind of just screams of like narcissism. Like this kind of like when I really like look at this, it just kind of screams narcissist and self-centered. Like this is what this screams to me. I could be wrong, but it kind of like lightweight just screams narcissism. You know what I mean? It's I, right?
country has a very modest annual income compared to many countries in the West. And so the women and the men that are seeing comparable incomes, if at all comparable, tend to work in very structured and specific industries, which is pretty much the government. And if you got a government job in Tanzania, you're balling, you're doing very well, and you were probably married right before you got your first check. So again, most of those men in those roles, earning those type of incomes, living that type of lifestyle that I was familiar with, were taken. And so that wasn't my thing. And if they weren't taken, they were probably, again, not trying to disappoint.
Well, they had discernment, like that's the thing. They had discernment. They saw the red flags. They saw that you have 2 kids and you weren't married. So that's the thing. People say that everybody deserves a second chance and things like that. But, there are certain things which you have to consider when choosing a partner. And you look at the fact that someone has 2 kids, like we have to be real, you know.
Yeah. So that was the first thing, partnership. Very important to me. And it just wasn't something that I saw being possible for me in Tanzania. Did I experience all the men in Tanzania? No, absolutely not. I was only there for a year. And also, my focus wasn't on dating and being out there. So, who knows? That could totally be wrong. So, leave it in the comments if that wasn't your experience, but that was mine. And I'm happy to share or discuss more. The second thing for me that I was missing overall, if I'm being honest, were some lifestyle luxuries. So, as I mentioned,
So the thing is that like they're not going to be able to downsize. That's the thing. Like even me in the place I'm going, I'm prepared to downsize. You know what I mean? Because I know that there's going to be other things I get in the back end that are going to make up for my downsizing. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm not really tripping off of that. A lot of times, they're going to trip off of downsizing and things like that. And, it is, It is what it is, you know. It is what it is. But let me go ahead and go to another one. And there's a lot of videos like that, you know. There's a lot of videos like that. There's a lot of videos that are like that. Why I had to leave Tanzania, why I had to leave Ghana. And this is good, you know, because the thing is, it makes room for us to come back and return and to add to the country without any disruption from these degenerate women, you know.
He showed me the pictures and I was like, oh, this looked like a high rise type of apartment. But when I got there, I was like, something smells funny. When I got in the apartment, I was like, this is something not right. It just smells like, I don't know, but like an insects, you know? So if you know, like, I've been in a clean house. I love the smell of a clean house. We can all smell know what that smells like. But when you're in an apartment where you know like something smells funny, there's something going on. So 5 hours after telling us they could give us that time, yeah. So I left in tears because, I had been there for about a month. And at first, it felt like Tanzania was going to be good for me. But after that was like one of the first negative experiences for me there. But yeah, I thought I could, stay there a little bit longer just to feel it out. Now, let me tell you guys, I never, ever, ever had um, I had no expectations with coming to Africa. Like I told you guys, I had planned to move to Ghana. They changed their rules. I don't like how their president moves. So I decided to come over to go to Tanzania. And, oh my goodness, low battery. So, you know, as of going there, I dealt with so many. That was the first negative experience, and I was just like, yeah, I don't know where to go from here. And last minute, I had an opportunity to go ahead and extend it even further. But y'all know I was there for like 6 months. I left the day that my visa was supposed to expire, the day before, no, the day of my visa expiring, I left Tanzania. So, um, yeah, the immigration, like to have to leave every 3 months. I knew this before going to Tanzania because it's everywhere, it's listed everywhere. But what I didn't take into was the expense that it would be to travel from country to country. I thought maybe it would be a little bit cheaper, but
So, you know, like again, no foresight into things. You know, when I go to I'm just going to be honest, when I am going to go to a place, I'm going to bring a cushion to the place that I'm going to, even if it is cheap. You know, like usually how it should work is that if you're planning on, for example, going to another country, going to another state, you should already have like a job lined up and you should already have some savings. Okay. You shouldn't just be like, okay, I'm just going to go. And, you know, you're just living off of like, you're living off of the hopes of like, basically, cuffing a man, which a lot of these women, I think, do.
clearly it wasn't. And you have options to leave the country by bus or plane when your visa expires. So I mean there are affordable options, but it's not even about the affordability, it's about the exhaustion of moving around trying to figure out if this place is it for you. And then within that time period, you gotta deal with the visa things as well. Like it's a lot. So I was just like, yeah, I can't do this long term. I can't do it long term because I'm drained already within 6 months. So it's ways to do things under the table. People are aware of this, but I don't want to lie. I don't want my conscience. I don't want those, my conscience. I'm traveling with my baby girl. I can't be doing things under the table that's illegal and traveling with.
Okay, again, another single mom, another single mother, right? Just give me a minute. Just give me 1 minute. Just give me 1 minute. All right.
The toddler. Like I just cannot. I'm all she has. So yeah. The immigration, you guys, is terrible. Um, what else? Yeah, so immigration number one. Number two is the culture. I just couldn't vibe with the culture. I felt judged 50% of the time. And I just couldn't be myself.
And the thing is that there we have it. Because I'm pretty sure that herself is very masculine, very forceful, very demanding, very condescending, like all of those things. Okay? There you have it. when you go to a place, I'm not saying that you shouldn't, like, when you go to a new place, I'm not saying that you should just not be who you are, or that you shouldn't maintain your identity. What I'm saying is you have to get used to and get hip to the customs of the land, especially if there's a wisdom behind those customs, you know. Now in the Western country, there is no wisdom behind the customs they're pushing. There is no wisdom behind alphabet soup culture. There is no wisdom behind hookup culture. You know, so this is something you shouldn't get accustomed to, right? There is wisdom behind hard work, right? There is wisdom behind making sure you're caught up on this certain trends and what have you. There's wisdom in that. Absolutely. But there is no wisdom in the other things which a lot of people fall victim to.
And that's just the bottom line. Like whatever they believe in and whatever they thought of me is not even the problem. The problem is I could just never be myself. I work out a lot. I wear a lot of compression outfits. I wear, things that to a very, very modest person, you just, even at my most modest, you just like gonna, give me these looks if you're a judgmental type of person.
It's not about being judgmental. It's just about the simple fact that you're entering into a country that has a different volume system, and you're also entering into a country that values women actually covering themselves. So if you're coming into this country wearing yoga pants and all this other stuff, obviously you're going to stick out like a sore thumb. Obviously you're going to stick out and people are going to be like, yo, what's their angle? You know what I mean? So it's weird to me that you would get upset or feel judged when you're sticking out.
So I felt judged half of the time, and I didn't like that. And there was this one experience. I was staying with this guy and some guy roommates, and they were younger, like 22, and they were in college, and I'm 34 years old. For those who don't know.
So the question is, like, and this is a question you would have to ask yourself, why was she staying with guy roommates? Like, why wouldn't she stay with like women roommates? She couldn't find any women roommates. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, she couldn't find any.
And I was cleaning my laundry, and I had on my workout shorts, and I had on my workout shorts or compression shorts where they basically hit my knee. But I had on a big t-shirt. It doesn't matter. I'm in my house. I'm paying here. I'm paying to live here. And this little boy comes. I'm sorry to call him a little boy, but they were like college kids, a decade or more younger than me. So this little guy comes to me and says, "Hey, can you put something more modest on because I got a girl coming over here?" And I'm thinking, like, who is this girl he has coming over here? Is she Mother Mary? Because I want to know.
So there you go. Like, again, I say their values do not align with our values, okay? Like, this is what I'm just saying. I have yet to meet one that has the imprint of a pious woman, okay? So you see, straight up, that, the girl coming over, we're going to see who that was, but it could have been a potential suitor. That's the thing. And I'm going to get into this, but if a potential suitor comes over and then that potential suitor is looking at you and you're dressed like not modest, they're going to be like, okay, what's really going on here? Like, why is she over there? And I hate to say it, but women like to jump to conclusions, and so that potential suitor may jump to conclusions. But let's continue.
Like, why are you asking me as a uh, as your elder to put on something modest? And I'm in my house, you know. So this girl comes over. She didn't. I didn't change. I didn't change because I just no. It's not my choice. So
So again, you see that she's masculine. You see that she's combative. You know what I mean? Like, and they wonder why people in the world look at them in a certain way. They wonder why.
um, she walked in. She didn't see me. I saw her. She had on her hijab and Muslim attire, and then I would still continue cleaning. An hour later, she comes out wearing his clothes, his t-shirt and his shorts. Now, I'm not a virgin, okay? So all I can assume in this situation is they just had sex. But yet you were just asking me to put on my clothes to respect this girl who's not even respecting the beliefs of Allah. Like, as I,
The real question is, did you hear them have intercourse? Or did anybody else hear them have intercourse? Answer us that, please.
if I'm not mistaken, in Christianity, Muslim, none of that. You're not supposed to be having premarital sex. Now I'm not holier than thou. You know what I mean? I've tried celibacy. I've tried to keep my virginity when I was younger. But I try to be good with God. I know I'm not perfect, so I'm not judging her. Like, if that's what y'all choose to do, fine. But just don't come to me and ask me to respect a belief that you don't even respect. So this is not everybody in Tanzania. It was just those people, and I was just like, yeah, I'm not cool with this. So that was just an example of a situation that went through while I was there, and why I don't vibe with the culture. I just don't. I just never fit in, and I've been me all my life. This is me. And I'm always changing and growing, but who I am at the core, I can't change. So if I can't vibe with the culture and I feel judged by the culture half the time, it's just not going to work long term for me. So that's one of the bigger reasons why I left too. Um, and number three, the other reason why I left is most of the expats were couples or males. So I met a guy, he was there from Europe. He had a business in Europe, but he lived in Atlanta. He's from Atlanta. I was like, oh, hey, what's up? Come to find out, like, he was like bragging about how, he can get certain favors from the girl in the community for little to nothing. And I don't mean sexual favors, but he was just bragging. And that's what he kind of like hinted at, but I didn't want to assume. But like, I think guys sometimes come to exploit the white and black guys come there to exploit the community if they know like they can get a lot for little to nothing. From whether it's company, sex, whatever. Like they know this, so they go there to sometimes exploit. So be
The thing is I'm not going to sit here and say that this doesn't go on, because I mean, anywhere you go, certain places, if you're in like a place where the situation is kind of like it's a low poverty and stuff like that, then it's going to basically some people are going to do survival mode. Certain people will do survival mode. And so survival mode may involve doing things that are not necessarily ethical. You know what I mean? That's the thing. Like certain things are not going to be ethical. So yeah.
In that I met, and then I met some cool expats that were males too, but a lot of them had relationships, you know. So the couples that I met, like the girls that I met in a couple, like we just never vibed, we never clicked because people usually like to hang out with people who have lifestyles that are similar to theirs, you know. So being that I'm single and these people are married, like we don't have anything to talk about or vibe about and discuss, like besides Pan Africanism or any other interest that I have. But the main thing is their lifestyle is different, completely different from mine. So that right there was like a big I don't fit, So these things happen. Like, yeah. So I had the big thing was I had a lack of connection with the diaspora and the locals because it's just like a double-edged sword. So you kind of left feeling lonely, you know. I am a loner at heart. Like I've always um,
Now that's by choice.
spent 90% of the time alone, But um, I want to connect with like-minded people, and I also want to connect with the African culture and the African people. But because there was that language barrier, I couldn't connect with any of the Tanzanian people, and I'm sure that stopped me from meeting a bunch of good people. But I couldn't connect. So this was like a thing for me that I was just like, like it sucks. This is a bummer. And I guess when you're like really liking a place, it inspires you to learn the language and things like that. We learned a few words and phrases, but I was just never motivated to learn any more than I did. So yeah, and I couldn't connect. Like I said, I couldn't connect with the locals, the diaspora, because most of them were. Oh my God, most of them. Yeah, so if you can't connect with the community, it makes things not hard for you, but very lonely. Yeah,
The reason why you couldn't connect is that number one, you didn't want to adhere to customs. Part of their customs is modesty. So of course you're not going to connect. Walaikum salam. Walaikum salam rahmatullah. Yeah, so like you're not gonna connect with someone if you don't have modesty, like you're going to a place that has it's a modest culture. You wearing gym shorts and skin tight yoga pants is not gonna make you connect.
so that was a big reason for me leaving. Um, it didn't feel like home to me, you guys. I didn't feel welcome. I didn't feel like I was Tanzania. And when I got there for like,
You're not supposed to feel like you're Tanzanian. Like um and also if you were seeing if you were going to feel like you're Tanzanian, then it's not going to happen over a month. It's going to happen over some years. Okay. You hear the entitlement of this woman? Like I don't know if they even know if they're being entitled. Like, you know what I mean? They really expect this red carpet treatment. And it's funny to me. It's very because even like for example, like us as Africans, like if you're an African and you go to a different country, you have to do the same things. You have to go through the same red tape as any other foreigner, even though you may be from the continent of Africa.
a month, um, I liked it a little bit. I kind of like ignored the negative things and just said, okay, well, maybe this is it. And I think a lot of people feel like they have to commit to a place because, you know, you invested this much into it, you invested time, it took a lot of effort coming to Africa, but I was just like, I just don't see myself happy here. I'm not happy. So I didn't know, like in my mind, I'm like, once I didn't feel welcome, I'm like, when can I escape? You know, because if you don't feel connected with the people, it's just like, what in the world am I doing here? Like, I'm just,
Okay, well, I don't feel connected with American people, or I don't feel connected with Americanized people, but at the end of the day, I know I just have to stay on my square and everything should be okay. You know what I mean? Um, and, one thing I want to say too is that there's this notion that because I talk the way I talk, that I'm not African. And, the thing is, if you've been in the country a long time, I mean, you just adopt the way that they talk, you know what I mean? And so people want to say, oh, he's FBA and stuff like that. I shouldn't have to do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. I shouldn't have to do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. Okay? I think I've done it on the previous show. So there's this like assumption that, oh, he's a FBA pretending to be African. Like that's the gross assumption. Okay. So let me dispel that myth right now. Okay. So, I have this passport. I have an American passport, right? I have American passport. Yes. But I also have this passport. Okay. This passport you can only get if you are an African. Okay. This passport you can only get if you've had, like, let's just say, like, mad a lot of time in Africa, or you married like maybe a local person. Okay. So you can only have this if you are African. The last time I checked, I haven't seen like an FBA walking around with one of these. Okay. That's the thing. I have yet to see like an FBA walking around with this. Okay. So I'm just gonna stop the camera and continue on.
sitting around, taping my videos, trying to do these interviews, but I feel lonely. Like I don't really, I vibe with a few Tanzanian people, the ones who spoke English, and I didn't vibe with any diasporans, actually, not for long. So, that's just what it is. But um, I wanted to. I wanted to connect with more people, especially the locals, but I just couldn't. I couldn't connect, and I never felt inspired to try to learn the language to connect. So that's one of the reasons that I left. I just didn't feel at home. The weather is just too hot for me. Like, it's just see, I like to look cute, and I can deal with the sun because I'm from Jamaica, but I have grown to like more of a neutral weather. Like,
So, again, these myths are dispelled, like, because like you'll listen to these people, they'll say, we have melanin, vitamin D is our power. Like, that's what they'll go by. I'm talking about these woke people and things like that. And it's like, okay, you're going to a place where the sun is booming, but yet now you're complaining about the sun. So like, it's like, okay, which one is it? That's what I'm wondering. Which one is it?
LA, that type of weather I love. So, Yeah, it's just like a lot of things that it just didn't make me. It didn't feel like home to me.
It's everything you wished for. Your site traffic is skyrocketing until this happens.
Another thing that made me leave was most people move in survival or they have like a lack mentality. Most people, not all, but most move in survival, and I know it's a developing country, but I didn't quite expect, you know, to be like price gouged the way that I did. Now I've seen videos before I moved to Tanzania, but honestly, I didn't do a lot of research as I did. I didn't do a lot the same type of research that I did on Ghana for Tanzania.
So again, like, I mean, it's just people telling on themselves more than anything else. And it's like, okay, bro, like you really just are lightweight telling on yourself, you know? And it just continues and continues.
Because it was a last minute move. But I did see videos mentioning like price gouging and stuff. But I don't think they really like went into detail about how extreme it is. Now I'm well traveled, so I know like how people move. I know most people will overcharge and um, you know, if they see that you are a foreigner. But it shouldn't be a situation where I have to defend myself at all times because I keep getting tried, Like I went to one chicken place and I think I talked about this in a previous video, but they charged me 10K. All the chicken places charge the same amount. So you get familiar with the prices. But for me to go to a place one day that has a place that has set prices, there's no bargaining at a chicken shack, at a chicken shop. The price is the price, the price is the price everywhere. But I do expect you to overcharge me if I'm bargaining for item. I get that. So, but when I go to a place that has set prices one day and you charge me 10K and then the next day you try to charge me 14K, like a different person, it's like, come on, this is stupid. It's hustling backwards.
So then why would you go to the place again if you know they're overcharging you? Like, why would you continue to go to that place if you're like, okay, well, they're charging me today this price, but on another day they're charging me this price. Why wouldn't you just not go to that place? It's that simple, you know? Here, let's see. Another one. Here's another one. As DJ Khaled said, and another one.
You can reboot your life, your health, even your career, anything you want. All you need is discipline.
Hey y'all, so I'm back with this video. I know I haven't been on in a while, but there's a good reason for that. I lost interest in recording videos, but let me get right to the point. The reason I left Tanzania. Okay, so the number one reason why I left Tanzania is because I was getting scammed numerous times. Um, was I scammed? So basically, the situation with me, I'm gonna do a whole nother video about it, but I wanted to let you guys know that I left Tanzania and I've been back in the US for almost 2 months. And for me, it was the best decision that I could have ever made for my future and for my son's future. Um,
Always having, you know what the common denominator is with this is that they all have kids. That's the main common denominator, is that they all have kids that are doing this. I have yet to hear from one who does not have kids. Maybe I need to do some digging but they all have kids and they don't have a husband?
I was on Facebook and I saw that someone posted a picture of them holding up 500 T shillings. Now, and they were saying that, hey, you know, the gas prices are expensive in the US, but for 500 T shillings, you can pretty much get around. And, you know, I don't know what they were trying to say, but it seemed like they were trying to say that's how much you would have to pay. You would only have to pay 500 T shillings to fill up your car, which is, I think they said less than 50 cents. First of all, my car, I drove a Noah, and my car there that I since sold because, hey, I'm back home. So I would have to pay like 100K just to fill my car up, right? And that's roughly about $43. In addition to that, when it comes down to like gas prices and things like that, if you put 10,000 T shillings worth of gas in your car, that's like about $4.30, I believe. So all of this foolishness that I see that's going around social media, don't buy it. You are the only person that can inform yourself on a place, especially when it comes to Africa. Now, for me, I feel as though you need to give yourself at least 4 to 6 months to decide whether or not you want to move to a place. The reason why I'm saying that amount of time, and I mean, within that time, you're just going there to make an informed decision, and then you go back home and you decide, you know, whether or not you're going to move there. Don't just up and move to a place. All of these YouTubers, there's so much that they may not be telling you and so much that they may not be experiencing. I wouldn't be able to jump on here and talk about my experience if I had never had the experience. So for me, I would say 4 to 6 months. And within that time, you know, before you leave to go, don't sell off your stuff. You know, if you can put your stuff in storage or store it in someone's house, then do that. If you're renting, then yes, I would say, you know, if you can get out of your lease, because that's a long time to be keeping up a lease unless you're doing like Airbnb or something, then that's different. Other than that, do not sell your whole life. Don't get rid of your car and all of that until you figure out whether or not that's the place that you want to be. And I think a lot of people get caught up in a situation, whereas if things are not going right, they feel that they're stuck in that place. No, there's nothing in my mind that tells me to stay somewhere and suffer. No way. So I'm always going to make a decision that is for the benefit of me and my son. I would say always have an amount in your head, whereas you feel that, hey, if I get close to this amount, then that means it's time for me to go home. That way you won't have to ask anybody for money to help you get home or anything like that. That's just embarrassing. Let's keep it 100. For me, my amount was $5,000. If I get to $5,000 or I'm close nearing that number, then it's time for me to go home. That wasn't the situation for me this time. The situation for me this time was a visa issue. And I'll go into that in another video. I just feel like it's so much to tell and I need to give the details of that. However, that situation was rectified for me, but at the last minute after I decided that I was leaving to go home. And there is, you know, someone there in Tanzania that I believe would be great for diasporans to, you know, to help them make sure that they get their visas and all the paperwork that they need, and to just, you know, not get scammed, and someone that's trustworthy. And I'll speak about that in that video. Of course, you guys can always hit me up if you have any questions. But as far as I am concerned, I did what was right for me and what was best for me. It didn't matter what anyone had to say to me. Once I prayed and I knew that, hey, it was time for me to go home, there was nothing that anyone could say to me. So I would say give yourself at least 4 months, 4 to 6 months, because the first time I went there, it was 4 months. 4 months was enough time for me to say, hey, I'm leaving. And if you guys watch my old videos, you will see the reason why I left the first time. The second time I was there for 6 months, but around the 4 month mark, I was ready. I was ready to go home.
So again, it sounds like she didn't learn the lessons from the first time. So she decided, okay, I'm going to go there the second time and expect a different result. And it looks like she didn't get that different result.
I'm not a person that easily gives up, especially if I invested in some things. And I don't mean like invested like I purchased property or anything like that. But when I invested in a place, I was renting a place there, and there was, just a lot of things that I had going on for me there. But I'm not going to stay anywhere and suffer. So I would advise you guys not to listen to any of these YouTubers. As a matter of fact, I think I was watching a video last year, if I'm not mistaken. Traveling Sister had mentioned not to be fantasizing about that place, meaning Tanzania or Africa, period. And she is absolutely right. A lot of this stuff looks good, on YouTube, and people are showing you their experiences, but nobody talk about their experience really when it's they have a low point. Now I have seen where I believe it was Black Travelista and I think her name is the ancestors now, but Tiffany Banner, she did mention her experience, and Black Travelisa mentioned her experience. I didn't have any situation like that because, there's more that I need to talk about. I am going to start a Patreon page because if I do decide to go back there, I just don't want.
So you see the title, right? You see the title. She said, why why I left Tanzania and won't be back. But she then again says that in case I go back there,
like the negativity of what people may perceive of me saying. It may come off negative, but technically it's not. At this present time, I have no intentions of going back there to visit anytime soon or to live there. I prefer to be home. Who knows what happens in the future? So that's why you have to be wise in the things that you say. But I will talk about my experiences that I feel is no harm because it's only truth. So that's all I wanted to say in this video. Thank you to all of my new subscribers, and keep watching, sharing my videos, because I believe that everything that I have said from the very beginning, when I first went to Tanzania up until now, is very important. Even the videos of, the different places that we've been, all of that stuff is great content. And I think that you guys.
Okay, so now let's see. Let's see. Wow, a lot of them are leaving.
Hello and welcome to this installment.
Okay, so the first reason why I left is just more so cultural differences. As a West African, I started missing everything about West African culture.
So I'm pretty sure she's one of these 23andMe Africans,
Basic things from the food, missing jollof rice, just food and popcorn soup, lava sauce, just the things that I love. Um,
Yeah, you know, bro, like that's the thing. When these 23andMe's try to connect, it's like, get out of here, please, and thank you. You know, like like seriously, you're not, you know what I mean? Like it just like it's not genuine, because the moment you don't get your way, and the moment that, here's the thing, you know, like these 23andMe's, they'll say, yeah, you know, I'm West African, this, that, and the other. But then when there's a cultural thing that doesn't align with them, um, it the thing is, when there's a cultural thing that they don't like, that's when it becomes a problem. Like, for example, polygamy, problem. Dressing modestly, problem. But yet you'll claim you're this, that, and the other, but you're only that when it serves your purpose. And that's what we don't need. You know, that's like Rachel Dolezal. You know, like uh, Rachel Dolezal will be like, okay, you know, I'm black, this, that, and the other, because it serves her purpose, right? At the time. So this is the thing, okay, with these people. So let's pull up something else. We go from the east to the west. Okay, let's see. Okay, another one bites the dust. Let's see.
Yeah. But yeah, I need to go.
So again, you see the nose ring, red flag. You see the condescending attitude, red flag. You see all of the red flags. The masculinity, red flag. Let's continue.
So there's many reasons. I'll explain later. Anyway, just don't mind him. Clearly he's going to miss me. Yeah. But yeah, I need to go. There's many reasons. I'll explain later. Anyway.
For holding me close and drying my tears, for tying my shoes and calming my.
Joking. Are you mad? I have no. The same faux foliage. Some more things as well. I saw the same faux foliage I used in Diamond. They've got it here in outside one place. I'm going to record it and show you. How cool is this? And that. So cute. Nothing else. No other way I can explain it. And I know there was. By the way, I had to plait my hair back because it's raining, and it's just a shame because it just looks like a shithole, and there's nothing else, no other way I can explain it. And I know there was the pandemic and all of that stuff, but like honestly, this place used to be something special to come to. Changed and whatever, but yeah. And it's just depressing to me anyway. I don't know. Yes, Lucy, you are beautiful. I'm literally in heaven. Oh yeah. Oh, true. So I'm in Chelsea. We came to look at some interior design places. There's some gorgeous.
Oh, is this like clickbait, or like what is she gonna get to the point, or like what? Like, can we hear the click? Can we hear why she left?
Okay, I'm gonna stand here.
Okay, it's clickbait. But just understand that, you know, the women in the UK are no different from the women in the women are no different in the UK than they are in America. Um eh, you know, they have the same footprints. They have the same footprint as the modern woman here, you know. So this is the thing. Okay. Let's see. Let me see. Why I'm leaving the Gambia, never to return. Okay, let's hear this one.
What is all this?
Those are delicious new kettle-cooked air-fried chips.
Grand Rising. Welcome back to Chopping with Tay Tay.
So be aware to a woman who used that term. If a woman uses that term, Grand Rising, run the other way, please. Do not run towards her. Just run the other way. Run the other way. But let's continue.
So if you're watching this video, then you will know why I'm leaving the Gambia and I'm never coming back. Do you see this? Grand Rising, welcome back to Chopping with Tay Tay. So if you're watching this video, then you will know why I'm leaving the Gambia and I'm never coming back. Do you see this? Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. It fucking came in. Oh, they took my laptop. They took my hard drive. They took my earphones. Oh my God. Oh my God.
So while I will not ever, while I will never,
so this happened.
So while I will never like make fun of someone's misfortunes, you know, we have to wonder, like, okay, what caused the robbery? Was it just like a means of convenience? Was it like, okay, we found a lick? Like, I would like to hear a backstory on it, you know. And I'm not discounting her misfortunes. I'm not doing that, but I'm just curious on the backstory, you know.
Not coming back here. You see this? Next. Let's see what I hear upstairs.
All right. No explanation. Okay, let's see if we can get an explanation. Let's see if we can get an explanation.
Hyundai Ioniq 5 versus Tesla Model Y. Look what Ioniq 5 has and what Tesla Model Y.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Carla, but you could call me Kay. And today, people, I am on cloud 9. I just had the most amazing meal. It's awakened every sense in my body. And I'm going to show you a small video clip of it or a photo or something. It was just out of this world. In fact, I'd hoped to eat like this more often on the continent, but it hasn't been as easy to do that for some reason. But yeah, this is the kind of food that I need, basically. Um, yeah, but I'm also discussing quite a big topic today. Am I leaving Gambia? Now, for those of you who've been following the channel, I've been here for a minute. Some of you follow my journey from all the way in the UK, and here we are now. And I've learned a lot about Gambia, and learning about Gambia and being on the continent has answered a lot of questions for me, questions that I didn't even know I had, basically. I've learned about myself, I've learned about my culture, my history, and just things that you can't even conceptualize, things that you can't even express. You get to learn that when you come to the continent. And I think you get that lesson anywhere on the continent, but even Gambia has been a special lesson for me. Um, I've enjoyed my stay here. I mean, I'd say I've experienced a lot of healing whilst being here, healing from toxic, chemical environments, technology filled environments that I've been in.
The thing is, there's nothing wrong with technology, field environments. It's how you use the technology. Your, unfortunately, your gender uses it for bad, which is why we have the advent of OnlyFans, which we have video cam models, which we have dating apps where the playing field is so crazy. You know what I mean? Technology is not bad. How you use it is bad. And therein lies the issue.
There's a lot of healing that goes on when you're in nature, when you have sunshine and, good food. Um, and I would say, yeah, I have not regret any of my stay. A lot of crazy things have happened to me along the way, though, and some of you have seen that for yourself. My car accident, um, the landlord's issues, just so many stuff. Even now, I'm going through some crazy stuff, but I've come to realize that's just the way it is. But Gambian's been great for me. And the reason why I haven't bought land here and I haven't learned the language is because some time ago I realized that this isn't where I want to stay. I was, I was spending a lot of time trying to figure out, is this the place I would want to entrust with my old age? I would like to find somewhere where I could invest 20 years of my life getting to know the people, the culture, and fitting it in and assimilating and um, becoming, adapt to that life, to that culture, to the people. And, so that you could, grow old in that location. And I spent time here searching, looking around, visiting villages, visiting different places, exploring and enjoying a lot of what I've been doing. And I just never it just never clicked in me that this is the right spot for me long term. Short term, it's been great. I've been fortunate in business here. A lot of really good things have happened in that regard. Um, but there are a lot of, things that are happening here as well that I think even there's great uncertainty in Gambia for not just the repats, the expats, but for Gambians themselves. Gambia has changed a lot um, from its former regime to now. Only 5 years, 6 years, 5 years. And this is a completely new Gambia for Gambians themselves. So not even Gambians know what to expect. And it's one of my concerns here as well because I express to Gambians and I speak to them and I speak to people in high places and I said, Jamaica used to be a calm, peaceful place, similar to Gambia back in the 60s. But things changed. And, I advise, Gambians, look out for your young people because things can happen here that you can never reverse, you know. And people will be like, no, don't worry about it. Gambia is fine. The youth are fine. And religion is too important to us for things to go bad or, they think what they have, tradition, religion, is enough to sustain them through the changes that are coming.
So it is because when you look at it, for example, okay, when you look at it, most African countries or a lot of African countries have went through colonialism, number one. Number two, they went through or are going through corrupt regimes. Number three, they're going through civil wars. But guess what? The people are still going. They're still pushing on. Why? Resilience and their faith in God.
And I don't see that, you know. So that's one of the major reasons why I can't look to Gambia as a long-term option because not even Gambians have any idea, too much change in too short time, too much change. Um, and a lot of it is not favorable for the people. A lot of the changes are not favorable for the people. Yeah, I mean, globally, we're going through a lot, and I had to factor that in. But really, even if there weren't these global issues, um,
The rich are significantly pumping money into real assets, doubling their investments into one asset in
Gambia has its own challenges, basically. But I mean, yeah, it's been good, but and business wise, I've enjoyed it. I'm hoping I can replicate that in other places on the continent, and I don't rule out the idea of going to other continents either. But I want to explore more of Africa and yeah, I mean, people came here, repats came here, and they were buying up land. And for me, that's a huge decision and a huge commitment. And people are like, "But you can sell it if you don't want it." But it's not so easy. Um, and then when people who want to keep land and then go somewhere else, that's not an easy option either because if you invest something here, if you buy something here, especially land, you have to be here to look over it, you know? Gambians themselves struggle to keep a grip on those possessions. Even when they have family here to look over it, it's crazy. So, yeah, I mean, do you want those ties? Do you want those long-term ties here? I don't see it necessary for myself.
Okay. So she's just kind of dancing around, but I think there's more things that have to do, you know. Let me see. Let me see if she actually says why she left.
Like an alien.
Pretty alien, isn't it?
No, I don't know about that. Anyway, hi guys, welcome back to the vlog. So I'm leaving. I had enough. Like on the real. I'm going back to London. Mum and Dad are gonna cry.
Crying inside. Crying inside.
Anyway, just don't mind him. Clearly he's going to miss me. Yeah. But yeah, I need to go. There's many reasons. I'll explain later. Anyway. Bye.
She didn't even tell us why she left. I don't think she wants to tell us why she left. But yeah. Okay, now there was a story I want to pull up. I think it happened in the Gambia actually. Oh.
Two girls, and you hear them, hey, V, go. You always want to fight. She always want to fight. Not Max, not Stella. It's another dog here, girl dog, and she always want to fight Max. Now, hey, go. Investor, and then you defame me? Bro, you don't know. My nickname is Suum Sally. What? I sue corporations, apartment complex, jobs. You break the law, Tay coming for you, especially if you cost me my hard-earned money, right? I'm coming for you. Thanks, y'all. Okay, so let me just answer some of y'all questions. But yeah, for this boy to say, oh, she can't come back to the Gambia. You wish I couldn't come back to the Gambia.
So, you know, with this kind of attitude, like you have to ask yourself, okay, like what, like why would you want to deal with that? You know, like why would you want to deal with that in Africa? Like when, you know, in America, and that's the problem in America. You know, I'm gonna be honest, in America, they do deal with this kind of behavior. You know, they do, and that's another issue in itself. You know, but that's one of the big problems with America right now is that, you know, this behavior is widely accepted, and so this is why they feel the way they feel, and this is why they act the way they act, because this behavior is accepted.
You wish. Somebody said, I didn't make a video saying that I was paying someone to have sex and all this other stuff, but somebody made a video about me saying that, right? But anyway, she's a doll factor. That will come in due time. In due time. But right now, let me handle this court case. So we went to court, And one of the accused needed a translator that speaks Bul. And the courts I found out, the prosecutor said that it's the court's responsibility to bring a translator. And something happened where the lawyer came and the lawyer didn't know something. I don't know, but the lawyer left. One of the accused lawyers left. So they just rescheduled it. Now they rescheduled it to a day that I'm supposed to be leaving. All right. I'm supposed to be already gone. Oh, really? They rescheduled court to the 24th. So your girl will be extending her stay. I'm not letting this go. Why should I? I met 4 Gambians the other day, and 3 out of 4 were robbed. 3 out of 4 were robbed. So even if I wanted to let this go, I can't, because someone has to stand up for themselves. How many people have been robbed and not have been able to hold the people accountable? So I have the opportunity to hold them accountable, so that's what I'm going to do. So, don't do that. Don't do that. Stop. Stella, don't do that to them. They trying to fight each other? Yeah. In. Stella, put one of them in. Stop.
So you see that, right off back, she's a dog mom. So again, that's a telltale sign, and it just goes to show, like, with her attitude and how masculine she is, and the fact that she says she's known to sue people. Like, why would you want to bother with that? Everybody always tells me, oh, they're not all the same. You know what I mean? But when you keep on showing me things that are not because look, I can look for good, right? I can look for good and things like that and look for it, but chances are it's going to be few and far between that I find it. That's the thing. So it's like you keep on telling me that, oh, they're not all the same, but they're not showing me anything different. What am I left to think? Okay. Let's continue.
So Stella done made it and she turned into Queen Bee. Okay. We were walking down the street the other day. Somebody walked past. I'm like, okay, girl. Nobody better not mess with me, because these dogs, I don't know what happened, but they must have thought I wasn't coming back, because they listen now and they are off the hook. So I keep them to me so they don't bite anybody. Don't close his mouth like that, Kat. So, okay. They sitting on the couch waiting. Shrek, I see you, boo. I see you. One of this to Shrek. You're not going to defame my name. You're not going to defame my name. So let me address this. I'm going to read this. Pod Cherno Cisse. Please, Tay, you guys, he's probably trying to say stop, should stop all this madness and unite, because many people are inspired by all. We should maintain peace. Brother, I agree. But what you all need to understand is no one in America was over there singing, Kumbaya, my Lord. It wasn't happening, okay? So some people are coming here with their nonsense. And the one thing about me is I'm not going to take abuse from anyone. Neither should you. When you stand up for yourself, you have to stand up for yourself. So a Gambian brother told me, when y'all go to public school, you got to know how to fight. Because if you don't, and somebody pick on you, what's going to happen? Other people will keep picking on you. Am I lying? Pa, answer that for me. Answer that for me. I don't know if you went to a government school or private school, but answer that for me. You have to stand up for yourself. So my thing is you don't see, how many videos do you see like this? Not many. Now go to Shrek's channel. Go to what's that boy's name? let anyone continue to make videos about me and defame my name and say I'm out here paying people. Pa, it sounds like you're Gambian. I know you're blind wigs sitting here watching this. So go make another video. Continue to give me evidence. Continue to give me evidence for the defamation case, for the harassment case. Please. Because you can say y'all know the law. Pretty, please. You can say you know the law, but I don't know. I don't know, because you seem a little special education. You keep talking about somebody. If you knew the law, then you know defamation, you know harassment. And you're sitting here lying. Are you really that miserable that you got to sit and lie on me, girl?
So, the thing is about this is that you have, like, it's not only the men that are coming at these hyenas, but it's also the women of Gambia who are coming at these hyenas, Now, how this ties into the future of Africa is that Africa is being, like, the population of Africa is growing. It's growing a lot. You know what I mean? So with that being said, you have an influx of, people are still having kids. People are still doing those things. You know what I mean? This institution is still in there, And so with that being said, with that population, we have to think about the next generation and how we can best serve them. And the next generation cannot be served by having masculine women like this over there,
To sit there and take emails from somebody else that's lying, right? Or a little bit older. But right now, we are the people that's coming over. And everybody's not right in the head. Everybody don't want to hang with the Gambians. Some people talk crazy to the Gambians and they from the West. So it's never going to be peace on earth. Ever. That's a perfect world. And this world will never be perfect. Ever. So some things just need to be addressed. And some things is just mess that needs to be addressed. And some things is just a laugh. And that's what this video is about. All right, y'all. So let me tell you what I heard. Excuse me. Let me drink some water on this. So y'all saw the title, right? You saw the title. African-American woman gets boxed and goes straight to the police. Can you guess who it is?
Yeah, it's you.
Maybe she did a video already. She's a YouTuber. Let's see. Put them in the comments, y'all. Y'all probably don't want to say anything, right? So, y'all know the Fresh Prince of Wakanda, right? Derek Winters. That's in the UK.
Oh, she doesn't have any money to get back on the plane.
That's his voice.
She doesn't have any money to get back on the plane.
So I went to his page. And so I went to his page because I had to give my lawyer evidence for the defamation case, right? So, of course, I commented. I said, yeah, boy. You got to eat those words, don't you? So, and someone in the comments said, is it Shantae back in the States? When was this film? I love you. Whoever you are, I love you. Call them on their crap. Call them on their crap. Because I don't understand. I mean, life is hard enough, right? And then we got to deal with ignorance and stupidity. And then they have a platform. And then I'm like, people want to see that more than they want to see something good. That just shows that we love watching a train wreck. All the LA hip hop shows, all the loving hip hop, the Housewives, and man, these people been on for Atlanta Housewives been on for what, 13 years?
And yeah, who pushes that though? Who is the one watching the shows? Who is the one watching the shows though? Right? You can easily not watch. I can't remember the last time I watched a reality TV show. I'm just going to be honest with you. It's been a very, very long time since I actually watched a reality TV show. So miss me with that.
Who is watching that for 13 years? What is that person
You guys are.
like on the inside if you keep watching that? We are what we feed our spirit. Right? That's probably why I want to be a lawyer, because all I look at is law stuff. But we are what we feed our spirit. So if we continue to watch that nonsense, don't you think we're going to act like it? Is that why people are so shady? Is that why people are such backbiters? It's crazy. It really is crazy. So I commented, hey, Betsy boy, you said this, you said that. You got to eat those words. How's that humble pie? How's that humble pie? She was knocking boots. That's why she didn't hear anything. Look, I wasn't, but because I was tired as heck. But even if I was, right? Sorry, Mom. Even if I was.
Okay, I can't anymore with this woman. I need to find out who got hit. Let's see.
What's the Mark? He's in Tanzania. It's a young brother out there, and he was speaking about the situation. However, it was a sister, and she was getting off the. And a lot of people had some, negative things to say about the sister. But when I was listening to this sister, it seemed like she was a cool sister. It seemed like she don't seem like she would be someone that would be going somewhere. And she just said that, she said to the guy that he was she said to the guy that he was demonic. That's what he said. She said that he was demonic. I'm driving on the road here. I'm waiting to get into a more smoother area of the road. However, we are here in the Gambia, West Africa. Yeah, but in any case, she was assaulted. And
the problem with these guys, like these simps, is they think like a chameleon is not a chameleon. They think that, because they present themselves in a certain way, right? They present themselves in a certain way. They believe that that's how it goes. They believe that, okay, it goes like this, but it's like, bro, that's not how it is. They're chameleons. They're doing this on purpose, okay? So please, stop it. As the Michael Jordan's thing says, stop it. Get some help.
Even here in the Gambia, I don't know why there was a sister that was assaulted here. And a few months ago, well, probably about.
And one thing that they do too, right? One thing that they do, for example, when someone ghosts them, when someone like tease off on them or something, the first question they say is like, "What did I do?" They're like, "What did I do?" That's the one thing they say. They say, "What did I do wrong?" Like, what was the issue? You know what I mean? It's funny to me. Well, let's continue.
Seven or 8 months ago, I did a video about, resentment growing and xenophobia in countries in the Gambia in particular. I said, I said a number of things in the past. Anybody been watching me? I've been here for a minute. I've been, I've revealed it all. I about what was going on here with different individuals and repat, and before all of the chaos came, I was speaking about it because of our mentality and the way that we're doing. However, we're seeing assaults on Black women. We're seeing Black women get assaulted.
Is it because the Gambians are trying to keep their culture and protect it? Or is it because they're just deciding, oh, let me just randomly go after someone? And I'm not justifying any physical altercations, by the way.
We're seeing Black women get assaulted, and it's probably a lot more going on than we're actually seeing and getting, but it's not a positive thing. And as I said, the sister, for instance, in her situation, she was just crossing the street. Most of the time, if I'm crossing the street, I've had plenty of cars and I've gotten into accident with people, and people don't have insurance here, so, just recently somebody, hit this car. This car been hit several times, and I was driving, and when I got out the car, I wanted to say something to the guy, but at the same time, what are you gonna do? What is getting mad and getting upset and wanting to, what is that gonna do? So I was upset, but at the end of the day, I couldn't do nothing, and all he gave us was $4. That's all he had on him. Four strong dollars, and we had to take that. And we had to go with it, but I didn't, come out of my character and say anything, because you never know who a person is or what they got going on or their mind frame. Especially, in the U.S., we see road rage and things like that. So, but here, I have an incident where I was at this place, Micah Apartments. I was at Micah Apartments, and I'm standing in the front, and we're doing a video, and it was this African brother. I don't think he was Gambian, man. He was somewhere else. He pulled up on us like he was going to hit us. Like, get out the way, like you guys are in the way, and it's not about being, African or, all of this nationalistic rhetoric. It's not about that. It's just about people not having common courtesy, and you're going to run into that. You're going to run into that, and you don't want to,
Shake something up, baby, pull me through.
They want to put their negative off on you. I just, most of the time I'll just walk away, I'll disregard it, because I'm at that space and I'm at that point in my life. So, one of the things that I saw was wrong is, the sister, when she came over, she was by herself. I don't care what nobody say about me. Anybody that came over here, they got picked up. They got picked up from the airport when we were doing those things. And, they always had people with them. You know what I mean? Where you're not by yourself. You don't want to be somewhere you by yourself and you don't know the natives, you don't know what's going on, and you're not ready and you're not prepared. Here you need more. It takes more effort to accomplish a task here than it would in the West. Some tasks, that you can do by yourself in the States, you're gonna need 2 people. You're gonna need 3 people. You understand? It's a lot of variables here that, affect, quality of life. But in any case, the sister was getting off and she was by herself. And the man, she said he was demonic and he ran up on her. I spoke to the police here personally with regards to things that's going on.
So, I mean, it was her mouth. Like, some people aren't gonna tolerate your rhetoric. And the thing is that he probably heard our accent and was like, oh, she thinks that because we're in a third world country that's gonna fly here. Nah. And that's what happened.
And the police told me, hey, you know, I already told the people that there was someone that was assaulted. He was like, if the women gonna continue to act like that, they're going to get in confrontation with men.
And that's a fact. You know, you think you're gonna go somewhere and present that Keisha attitude, you're going to have conflict, okay? And that's the thing. You can't just go to a place thinking that because it flew in the United States, it's gonna fly in that place. You know, and I think that's what's happening with Africa overall in general, is that now what's happening now is that they're realizing that, you know, what the old formulas are no longer flying anymore. Okay? And this is alarming a lot of the world powers.
Yeah, so that's what he said. That's what it is. And there's no domestic violence. They're not going to go to jail. And, you know, it's not like that over here. You know, the things that, you know, confrontation and women, you know, confronting men, those type of things, like in the U.S. over here, you have to be careful. You have to be careful over here, because then it's not like the West that, you know, they're not going to get, you know, an assault charge. They, you know, over here it's more of the society is more relaxed in terms of mediation and resolving issues amongst, you know, parties and things like that. It's not big jail culture where they're going to take you and lock you up and put you behind bars. So if you're confronting men and that, you know, and you, and this sister, I wouldn't even say, she was like, yo, you know, you're demonic. You know, words hurt people and you never know. You know, and he was a Christian too, you know, and he was a Christian. She said he had a cross on like a.
So, you know, like the thing is that like, the fact that he was a Christian at that goes to show you that it transcends religion. You know, this thing transcends religion. He did it based off the strength. Like, yo, I'm not gonna let this woman talk to me like that. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, in America, the problem is we don't have that leverage. You know what I mean? I can't do what I'm allowed to do in Africa as I can in America. Like, I can't like call a woman like out of her name, like without maybe suffering some big time consequences, because she's so used to not being checked, and she hasn't met a man that will check her, you know. Like, that's the problem. But let's continue.
And Ankh, it was a big cross, and he tried to take her head off. You know, that's ridiculous. That's crazy. That only shows you that we need to be able to support our brothers and sisters that's coming over, you know, from the States, and that, you know, need support systems. You know, we need to have welcome centers, you know, just like all the other foreign nationals that are in these countries. They have, you know, compounds, they have, you know, businesses and everything. Man, it's a beautiful, beautiful day. You can feel the water coming off the ocean right now.
Swing into McClendon Hardware's anniversary sale and help us celebrate 97 years in the Northwest.
Right now. Yeah, so, you know, we're out here in Gambia. We're doing our thing, man. We're making things happen. As I sit back and I watch, like I said, a lot of times I want to get on and I want to do different videos, you know, but, you know, I stay busy, and then, you know, I stay away mostly from showcasing and putting everything that I'm doing out there, because you know, people look to attack those things. Like, you know, our people see the cup as being halfway empty as opposed to being halfway full. And that's a mentality that we have. And that's why we have so much victimization of our people in our communities, even as we transition and come over in a situation where we should be the strongest. You know, as far as our mindset, we are still experiencing, you know, the lack of unity the lack of financial cooperation amongst each other, the lack of organizational, consideration for our people as we, make this journey and come over. But it's a great journey. Anybody that have, innovators and builders, those are the type of people that are going to come over, and that's going to mesh well with a developing country and countries like the Gambia, West Africa. It's just a beautiful, beautiful opportunity to be able to have ownership. You can buy land, you can get land for free. We don't have that opportunity. We're living in concrete jungles in the U.S. We're up in Walmarts all the time, up in Kroger's, up in
Land for free. If an African can't get even any land for free, what makes you think that you can get land for free?
Publix, and we don't have an opportunity to even interact with the land. I mean, here you can have your gardens, or you can get vegetables that's fresh. You can get meat, your meat, all of that's going to be fresh. Chickens are running around, lambs, you have cows running around, and it's all local. You get to experience food the way that it's supposed to be, the way that it's going to empower you in your body and your mind, and being free and outside of the system. However, as a community, we have to be able to support our brothers and sisters that are coming in, and we have to be careful. It has to be a thorough vetting process, because the majority of people who are coming are just tourists, and it don't mesh well with the people who are that foundational people who are married into the culture, who have actually lived within the culture. So we're seeing. I was meaning to do a video because of RJ. And RJ was a brother that during my situation, who put his reputation on the line to really come up and try to get to mediate, not to be on anyone's side, but to take a stand as a brother with regard to this movement. And you got taking with their
1 in 8 people have worked at a McDonald's. That's a lot of technical skills.
old people, they're going to choose the side of their people. Assist and support one another, and on a major level to where it matters, and where it matters is at that port. Against,
Okay, so he's not really talking about anything, but he told me what was happening. He told me what happened. Now I want to get into something. I want to get into something that shows how different we're built from them. Okay. We're just completely built different. All right. I want to show you something. And I guess the reason why I want to show you this, is that we we're just built different, bro. I want to show something real quick, okay? All right.
I mean, you went through a lot growing up. You had to do all sort of menial jobs.
You know, you had to sell oranges, you had to sell newspapers, you did a lot of things. And
So you see already that, like, for example, like the average like Belejo woman, the average like woman. I'm not trying to compare him to a woman, but I'm just saying that like our mentality as Africans, our psyche is completely different. Like it wouldn't do me any good to talk about it it wouldn't do me any good basically to like harp on the things that I've been through. Okay? Because if I told you some of the things I've been through, you know, many people will run in a different direction. You know what I mean? Um just a hint, if you ever seen anybody get their head blown off, then you'll understand where I'm coming from. That's just a hint. But anyhow, that's beside the point. But you see that this man, you know, he got it from the bottom and he's now on top of his game. You know, now you have to ask yourself, like, would the average American woman be able to tough it out with him? Let's continue and listen to his story.
I mean, today, glory be to God, you've made it. Sometimes you put on your caption that if you know where we are coming from, you won't wish us bad. Why do you make this kind of caption?
I actually saw this caption on, I think on Instagram, and then it's a long time.
And that's a good caption too. But what I find, unfortunately, is that like, and it goes for me too, like, don't think because like I'm African, you know, don't think because I'm African, I'm not excluded from that I'm not excluded from the misandry of Western women. You know what I mean? I'm included with that Western. I'm included in that misandry, you know. Yes, I am included in being like, I guess you can say uh a recipient of that misandry. So with that caption, and this goes for this goes for every man. This goes for every man, not just the African man, but just the man in general as a species. The man in general as a species. Okay. Let's listen to the caption again.
I actually saw this caption on.
Make this kind of caption. Make this kind of caption. Put on your caption that if you know where we are coming from, you won't wish us bad.
So the thing is, and of course, like women don't care about a plight of a man, and they usually wish us bad more often than wish us good. You know what I mean? That's the thing. And, you know, you'll hear comments, you know, especially on me, you know, you'll hear comments that they'll wish bad on me and things like that. And the thing is, you don't even know, the you don't even know, like, for example, you don't know what a man's plight is. You know what I mean? So why wish that man bad if you don't even know what his plight is? There was one video I saw, as a matter of fact, there was one video I saw in which this man was being very, very sincere. Okay. He was being very, very sincere in his intentions. Okay. He wanted to date a woman. I don't know if he was sending her money or anything, but the woman, of course, did not date him. And instead, she like ghosted him or stood him up. But the guy had ADHD. You know, the guy had ADHD. And this is what happened. You know? So This guy had ADHD, and she still did that. You know, I may put that caption on the shirt though. Now that I think about it, now that I think about that caption, it's very powerful. I may put that on the shirt. You know, for even me, right? I don't wish modern women bad. I don't wish them bad. I just showcase their behavior. That's all I'm here for. And even I'm transitioning even out of that. You know what I mean? I just have to use it as a reference to Africa. You know what I mean? Because that is one of my main priorities and one of my main concerns. You know? But yeah. But let's continue on.
Why do you make this kind of caption?
I actually saw this caption on, I think on Instagram, and then it's a long time. I think 2020 or 2019, something like that. Then when I read this, I had some goosebumps all over me, like, because I could relate to this caption, and I needed to get a picture to to back it up. So I took a picture on a yacht, and I posted it. So I picture on a yacht, and I posted it. So I pinned it on my Twitter account, so that when you come on my page to try to troll me or to try to say some sort of, sorry to say this, but some hating words, you would know that when I'm going to reply you, it's going to be crazy. And if I choose to ignore, it's just that I don't have your time. So, but of course, I put it there to know that there are a lot of people that came out from the gutter that really strive so hard to earn a living for themselves, and that those that actually work legitly, when they read this caption, they could relate with me that yes, I understand where this guy is coming from. And of course, some people don't know what you've been through.
So I want you to like pay attention. This guy right here, and I just highlight him, is he is a Nigerian soccer player, and he scored the most goals in his respective league this year. Now, you wouldn't know that by his like demeanor, right? You wouldn't know that. Like if he was walking down the street, you would probably think, okay, this guy is a normal guy by his demeanor. But you take the boss babe mentality, you know what I mean? And it goes the same with an African woman. I'm pretty sure I can find an African woman who exhibits these personality traits that he has. But you take the boss babe type of woman, and I'm going to tell you that she, like Ebony Williams, uses her title as a lawyer basically to look down on other people, you know, just because she's a lawyer. She looks down on others. You know, me, when I get to the point of being that digital nomad full time and being on the top of my trades, you know, I don't want people to know like what I do. I don't want to seem different from other people. You know, that's the way that this is the way that our forefathers taught us to be. And then also, like, even if you do have nice things, it's not one to flaunt them. You know, you shouldn't flaunt those nice things. But let's continue on.
Or what you're going through, they just see that you post something, and they wake up and see that, oh, you think you're happy, or you think you're this, let me make him hungry, let me hate on him, and they're trying to say some kind of word to hate on the individual that is actually striving for greatness. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
So for me,
Hyundai Ioniq 5 versus Tesla Model Y. Look what Ioniq 5 has and what Tesla Model Y doesn't.
I choose to ignore a lot, but when it comes to my head, I just give it to them. I don't want it, but of course, when they hate on me or something like that, I've got millions of people that love me genuinely, people that didn't know me from Adam, but they saw me through football, and they pick the love side instead of the hate. They try to motivate me. These people are the ones that I hold close to my heart, even though I don't know them. Lord seizes me. I put them every time in my prayer, that the people wishing me well, God should always meet them at the point of their knees. I don't know them. A lot of people put me in their prayers also. A lot of people look up to me, you know, as well as those that actually wants to see me fall. But of course, you know, these things will either bring you down or motivate you. But I choose to pick the love side to take me to where I actually have dreamed for myself. You understand? But of course, it's never the same because I've got a strong heart. These things don't move me. This hate don't move me. This backlash don't actually move me. I do not care because I believe in my own ability. And when things don't go my way, I just hope on God and keep it moving, because of course my struggle builds my character and teach me in the right frame of mind to remain humble and never give up.
I mean, just taking it from there, you have become a social media sensation because of the very hilarious post you put out there. Where did this come from?
You know, the people that are closest to me, you know that I will not consider myself like funny, because my friends are actually funnier than me. It's amazing. So I like being around them. Anytime I'm back home, I like being around them. But I've been doing this, but it's just on the low. So I decided to share my other side, aside from football, my other side, my personality, my other side. So I'll be like, okay, let me just do it. So because aside from that, depression is real. People are going through so many things, you know. Sorry to say, these people are taking their life, you know, society and all like that.
And, you know, like, I'm going to advocate for men, and it's like typically the men who are taking their lives, you know. One woman even said, "Oh, that's too bad," you know, and she said it kind of condescending. She wasn't sincere in like saying that, you know what I mean? Like, she was just like kind of condescending about it, about like men deleting themselves, you know. And I was just like, wow, like why would you even like say it in that way? Like, why wouldn't you even have some compassion for a man who may be going through a lot, and you just are saying something like that? You know, like, this is not cool at all. It's not cool to say something like that, you know? But let's continue.
And I feel that most of them get healed by some sort of funny things, some sort of motivational things on the gram, on Twitter, something like that. You know, some of them will go to, for example, Sabinu's page just to laugh their sorrow away. Some of them will go to Basketball, to Bovi, you know, to a lot of them. That's why I've got so many comedians that I follow, that I've met in real life, that I've connected with, you know, because I could remember 2020 when I had my nerves injury on my right shoulder, when I had COVID. It was really a tough time for me. You understand? I was alone. My family were far away from me, and it was tough. You understand? So when I was going through Instagram Explorer, when I saw a memes page, you know, I had to say this, but a big shout out to Tola. Her name is Tola, memes by Tola. You know, big shout out to Tola. So I went on her page. I saw what she was posting. It was very hilarious. I took a screenshot, and since then it's been it's been amazing all through. So I used to see a lot also. Some of them tag me. I go to their page. I see some funny thing. I take a screenshot. I post it on my after my picture comes first, and I post the rest of the memes, then the video, the last, because I felt these memes are really, for me, it's very funny. And as a Nigerian, you can actually relate to a lot of things. And some of the Italians would text me and say, "Oh, what you mean? I want to relate with your memes and all. I want to." I said, "Oh, it's kind of Nigerian style and all like that." So that's why I used to tag them, because I need to give them credit, because it's not easy, and I get to meet a few of them in real life. You get, so I feel like I need to be me. You understand? Doing these funny things is what I actually like most, because my life is simple.
Yes, correct.
My life is like this. I love to laugh, but I can be so serious at times that I can be mean sometimes. You understand? This is life. But my way of life is I respect everyone. I fear no one. I give respect to everyone. Then I do my thing.
And that's what we have to, and that's the program we run on for the most part, is that we respect everybody, we do our thing, but we fear nobody. You know what I mean? Like, and that's the thing that, like, for me, I don't fear modern women, you know, I don't fear them at all. I just choose not to interact with them because I know it's not worth my time to do so. You know, like, it's not really worth it. They don't really bring anything that is going to be beneficial to my life. You know what I mean? If they did bring something, then maybe it would be different. And I don't bring anything that's beneficial to their life either. You know, I'm not gonna lie. You know, the things that I'm interested in are things that they're not gonna be interested in. You know what I mean? Like, so that's what I'm saying. That like this is why, of course, there's going to be like a like a clash, because of the simple fact that the things that I relate to, they're not going to necessarily relate to. You know what I mean? So this is just basically what it is, you know. But let's continue.
This is my thing. On the pitch is business, strictly business. The training ground, strictly business. When I'm out of that, it's a whole new me. Like, I just want to live life, enjoy, and just be happy. Because life is too short, apparently, you know. And I just, with the time I have now, I just want to keep on laughing, keep on living, keep on making money, and of course, keep the ones that I love so much close to my heart, and just keep on balling.
Okay, final question, Victor. Looking at where you are coming from, all you went through, now you're up there playing for perhaps the biggest club in the world, one of the biggest in the world, one of the biggest in Italy, earning top dollars. Do you feel like you've surpassed your target as a young person, as a footballer?
For me, 100%, like, not even 100%, 1001%, because I set a standard for myself, the kind of life I want to live. You understand? Even when things were not going so well for me, I kept on believing, kept on dreaming, kept on praying, working hard, doing all sort of job before I went back to my real love, which is football. And to get to where I am today, there have been a whole lot of obstacles, a whole lot of hate, the love, the backstab, so many things. You know, I attribute my success to like, I don't know how to really put in the right word, but my success comes with love, pain.
So I want to say something too. That he brought like a very good point, and the point he brought up is that when it comes to success and things like that, it's going to be a roller coaster ride, right? But not only that, I learned something. This is one thing I learned, and I had to really be realistic in myself. I had to be realistic. And I had to come to this realization that modern women, right, do not want you to win as a man. And the reason why they don't want you to win as a man is because of the simple fact that if they really wanted you to win as a man, they would be incentivized to take things from you. Like take your resources and not give you anything in return. Marry you, divorce you, and rob and suck you dry in divorce court. And I can keep on going on. I've learned that they want you to be successful, but usually they don't want you to be more successful than them. This is one thing that I learned, you know. I really had to be, I had to really think long and hard. Also, I learned that modern women, believe it or not, they don't like you to be smarter than them either. You know, they don't like you to have like a leg up in terms of your IQ and even the way that you present yourself, you know, the way that you carry yourself. If you the way you carry yourself is not the typical way, they don't like that. You know, they really don't, you know. And this just comes from observation, you know. Well, let's continue.
A lot of tears, a lot of failures, and all like that, you know. And actually, some people set a standard for me that, oh, he's gonna be there. When he's there, we give him 2 years, 2 seasons. Oh, they're loaning him out. They rejected him in Belgium. 2 clubs rejected him in Belgium. Oh, he cannot do this now. He cannot do that one. They compare me with the past players.
You can hear the passion because it sounds like this man has had like a lot of haters. Me myself, I have a lot of haters on TikTok. I have a lot of haters on here. I have haters in a lot of places, you know, who like talk down when I try to show what is really going on, you know. But you know, you keep it pushing, you stay prayed up, and you do what you need to do. You know, that's all you can really do at the end of the day. Let's continue.
You know, I don't want to mention names, but I saw these things. I'm human. You know, footballers are human also. So for me, I'd rather take it the way they say it, or I prove them absolutely wrong. And God's so good, I prove them wrong. You understand? I'm playing in one of the biggest clubs in Europe, one of the best league in Europe. I have been nominated for the Youth Player of the Year. I have won so many personal award for myself, which I felt like is a huge milestone for me, because considering the fact that I've gone through a lot of life-threatening injuries, I came back, I smashed it, and I've been doing quite well for myself. That's why every day I wake up is just thank you, God. Thank you so much. You know, thank you for everything, because if I could have not gotten to where I am today, I would have given a lot of people the kind of words to talk about me, to talk down on me, about my career, about how I started. So it's like I'm on 100 and they are on 0, because I've actually won in life, and I'm winning against all odds, and I won against people that actually written me off or wish me bad in my journey. But of course, I'm so grateful to God for where I am today, and I don't think He's done with me yet.
You keep going.
Thank you.
All the best. Thank you.
So, that's kind of like a blueprint to look at, like in terms of like the African mentality. The African mentality is very resilient, very tough, and very grinded out. The only time we mess up though is when we get to the West and we kind of become domesticated. You know what I mean? Like, that's the problem. Some of us become domesticated and we get so entrenched in this culture that we forget we forget who we are. You know what I mean? And so that's the problem. And then you look at the other problem, and and then you realize that, like, the other problem is a very uphill problem, but it doesn't matter. We can still beat that problem. You know what I mean? But yeah. But I want to go to one more video. Well, I want to go to a few more videos. Now I'm just kind of like freestyling it, because I got, like, my point is made. My point is made that basically American women, and especially Black American women, can't handle like the mentality of an undomesticated African. Not a domesticated one. They fell by the wayside. I'm just gonna be honest. They fell by the wayside. Like, like they're just done. You know what I mean? Like, and so even they look at me strange. When it comes to an African guy who's been domesticated, or who's like gotten a Karen, gotten a Keisha or something like that, they've even looked at me like, oh man, what's up with this guy? Like, that's how it works, unfortunately. But it is what it is. I don't really care though. But let's continue. Now, Victor Osimhen also, here's something that also, like, many people don't know about him. I'm going to disclose something that he went through that many people don't know, and that, only a man can relate to his plight. Only a man can really relate to his plight. Let's go ahead and look at it. I think it's in on the official channel. Hold on, let me see. I wouldn't call him the world's best striker, but I would call him a good striker. I would call him a very good striker. He's a very talented guy. Let me see. Oh, here we go. Yep. Here we go.
Okay, guys. Hi. So I'm going to unbox the Dyson Airwrap. Whenever I shop with Google, I know I can see a ton of user reviews to tell me exactly what I need to know about a product. This actually makes curling both sides of your hair so easy. Oh my God, that looks so good.
Hi, I'm Victor Osimhen, player for SSC Napoli. So I was born and brought up in Lagos. I grew up in a place called Olushosun area of Lagos State. And where I grew up, my humble beginning was really tough for me. I lost my mom when I was a very young boy. And after my mom died, 3 months later, I lost my father.
So, listen to how he talks. Like, listen to how he talks in the way he lost his parents. You know what I mean? Like, that's just something we have ingrained in ourselves. Like, it's just ingrained in us. And the thing is, I hate to say it, but like the average Keisha would say some dumb stuff like, oh, why aren't you emotionally available? Why aren't you vulnerable? Because we don't have time to be vulnerable. That's why. Okay. So the thing is I remember I was going through something, and my dad said, "You're a man, you know, you better like just figure it out." He basically said there's no time to like he basically said to me there's no time for you to like be um nobody's going to hold your hand, you know. And the thing is that they think that, and unfortunately the modern woman thinks that her mistakes equate to a man trying to hold her hand, and it just doesn't work like that, you know. It's not going to work like that, because if the shoe was on the other foot, you wouldn't do it, you know what I mean? So this story alone shows you the cultural differences between us, you know. Like, I'm just going to be honest, we have cultural differences. Okay, that's the thing. And most of those cultural differences would not go down well with I want to say with the order. Just give me a minute. But yeah, so listen to him talking in the story just shows that like, yeah, man, like that this guy is just like completely built different, you know. And the fact of the matter is many people cannot handle that, you know. That's the thing. And I'm gonna say that uh Black American women and also white American women really can't handle that, you know. We're just like completely different. We're completely different specimen of men, you know. Like the undomesticated African is not going to simp, you know. And that's what they're so used to. So it's not going to really work. It's not going to really work in these areas that that are that they're flocking to, because then you find out that they're leaving these areas. You know, our mentality is completely different, you know. And it goes and the thing is, it goes beyond the religious. It goes beyond the religious aspect as well. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing. Like, it goes across the board. Like, even religion, like, plays second fiddle in our mentality, you know? That's the thing.
But I lost his job, and things were really hard for me and my elder sisters and brothers, and I had to sell water in the streets of traffic of Lagos State just to survive, me and my elders. it was really tough. And also where I came from is a place that is not promised. Nothing is promised there. No one will tell you they believe in you, and I have to do all these things because I feel that football is the only hope I and my family have to survive, to live the better life we are living now. And of course, where I grew up also is a place. There is when you ask people that where do I come from, they would say in the family of Victor. I don't think anything good can come out of that family, but I thank God for where I am today. That I really work hard and never gave up on myself, and I really believe in myself, and God helped me out. Yeah, of course, I saw my dad struggle through life, and while I was growing up, I think this gives me the orientation of the never say never what. And of course, my beginning as a kid was really tough. Why other kids are really enjoying their youth, I was busy fighting for life. I was busy struggling to make a living for myself and that of my family. I left home while I was a very young boy to sell pure water on the traffic of Lagos, and of course to do some kind of job like cutting the grass, going errands for some people, fetching water for some of our neighbors, just to get a little money for me to feed and for me to help my sister with. So as a young kid, it was really tough. There is nothing I would say that I enjoyed while I was growing up. Everything was struggle upon struggle, and I think this has really set my path to become where I've become now. I grew up watching Didier Drogba. Is someone I really look up to, and there was a time when I was training, and a man called me and said, "Do you know who you play like?" I said, "No, I don't." It told me to go to YouTube to watch Didier Drogba, and that was when I fell in love with the kind of player he is and the kind of man he is. And of course, since then, watching Didier Drogba has really added a lot to my game, has really helping me out to today.
So I want to keep this in mind too. Like as men, like I'm gonna be honest. If you don't have the example, if you don't have the example um in front of you, so to say, like if you don't have like the physical example in front of you on like who you should model yourself after, or who you should like look towards as inspiration, then you have to like find a different means to find that guy. Even if it means, for example, like he chose Didier Drogba, another striker, to look towards for that inspiration, for that engine needed for him to be successful at his chosen field. You know what I mean? And I don't know if he's ever met Didier Drogba, but the fact of the matter is Didier Drogba had a lot to do with his ascension to the top of the game. You know what I mean? So with that being said, I think that yeah, man. I think a lot of people can find different guys, whether they be, you know, um, throughout history. You know what I mean? So this is why I'm saying that yeah, that person may not necessarily be present in your very presence, but you can find someone who like checks off all the boxes of like someone you can look towards, you know? But let's continue.
That's why I said it's a dream come true to be here. I would never believe that if they tell me 3 years ago that I'm going to play for one of the biggest clubs in the world, I would doubt it, because then I went through a lot of hard time in Wolfsburg. I was rejected by 2 clubs in Belgium, and finally I was signed by Charleroi, and it was really, I was just going through some kind of stressful life. 3 years ago, If someone say that you're gonna sign for Napoli, I would say I don't think that's kind of like impossible dream. But I think everything is possible. I kept on working out. I kept on doing my thing, and of course, yeah, I am. So I said this is a dream come true, and I'm really grateful for life. My dream is to become the African Footballer Player of the Year, and I think I still have a long way to go. I'm really working towards that direction, and I think I am on the right path. And as a man, of course, it won't be easy, but I think having my own family is a dream come true. Will be a dream come true for me, but I still have a long way to go, so I'm not thinking about that right now.
So you you see that this is ingrained in the African. You know what I mean? This is ingrained in us that we want families. You heard what he just said. I'm going to repeat it again. You heard what he just said. Okay, let's repeat it again.
But I think having my own family is a dream come true. Will be a dream come true for me, but I still have a long way to go. So I'm not thinking about that right now. Football is the only thing on my mind. I just want to keep on focusing, and of course, with my new club, a lot.
So, like that shows that he wants a family. You know what I mean? Like, um, it shows that he wants a family. Okay. He said having a family is a dream come true. You know, and so I want to say that, like, for me, um, I want to say for me that 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 having a family is something I want. You know, for me, I get along with kids. I really do get along with kids. I think that kids are, the future. I think kids are adorable. I think that, it does take a lot of work to train the kids the right way, to train them to be disciplined, to train them to be, um, focused, to train them to, stay the straight path. I think it does take a lot of work to do that, but I think the reward you get from that work is very, very good. You know what I mean? That's what I feel, you know. I really feel that way. Uh and so yeah. Well, let's continue.
A lot is being expected of me, so I'm here to deliver. Before I even signed for Napoli, I was almost inside the team because a lot of Napoli fans would come to me. I see everything. They will send me a message, the city, and they will tell me the city is nice, the people are really wonderful, and I don't think there is some sort of racial people in Napoli. I've never seen that before since I came, and the first time came to Napoli, to the city, from the airport, it was it was so overwhelming seeing the kind of people, how passionate they are for football. I think Napoli Football Club is their life, and these fans will give everything just to see this club succeed. And I think I have that characteristic also to give them what they want, and hopefully I'll continue to give them what they want so that they can love me more. Hi, Napoli fans. I want to say thank you for making me choose the right choice. You
Yeah, so you can tell this guy is chill, he's on the square. And yeah, man. Um so I want to also basically just end on the note of just be careful out there. I just want to show this as like a caution, a caution to a caution. Just give me a minute.
Girl, boring. It's giving robot. You need to drive with Uber. Spice it up, honey. You get to work when you want, take breaks when you want. Next. This is the robot dance.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ and Gia's mom, who passed away, had dementia. For his club, we got our guest host, Jess Hilarious. And
for throat cancer is the number of coronavirus, also known. Oh, that's a nice pun. Oral sex is the leading risk factor for throat cancer, guys.
Oh, wow.
Now, yeah, I know it's a downer, literally. The main cause of this cancer is the human papillomavirus, also known as HPV, which is also the main cause of cancer of the cervix. Now, HPV is a sexually transmitted disease, and the main risk factor for throat cancer is the number of lifetime sexual partners, especially oral sex. Those with 6 or more lifetime oral sex partners, they're about 8.5 times more likely to develop throat cancer than those who do not practice oral sex. So that last brother, he said he had a high body count, right?
Yes.
Wait,
so you get, if you get at 6 times to like 6 different people, you have a higher chance.
Yeah, you know, and then please don't even show me this woman, man. Kendra G. Godly, bro. Like, oh God. Like, this is like, this is like one of the worst. But I just highlight the fact that just be careful, man.
You have a higher chance of throat cancer.
Oh my
So your
goodness.
thoughts, Charlamagne? Yeah.
Damn, imagine if you smoke cigarettes and you get fellatio. You're gonna have to cut one of them out.
Oh my
now I'm gonna ask you a
God.
real question. This is gonna sound crazy. Pause. Now, what happens if you don't swallow and you spit? Because it would be
What?
going down your throat, right? Because it's throat cancer.
Well, go ahead, Kendra.
I don't even know how to answer this question. First of all, I'm a Christian woman. I don't know anything about this. I am good to go. Oh,
Okay, that's cap. That's cap. Don't let it fool you. Someone's still blowing her back out. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't be surprised if she actually froze her eggs. So I think that ship has sailed. But don't let it fool you. Don't let it fool you. It's most of the time it's by title only. Religion is just title.
oh girl, I am good to go. Praise the Lord.
Well, that's okay. I'm happy to answer. So
Yeah.
take me. Yeah,
Praise
so,
the Lord.
so in case you do not know how to pretend, I guess, not to swallow, it's still, you have all the other juices in your mouth as
Yeah,
well. So
yeah.
even if you don't swallow, it's still going down, to the throat
absolutely.
and transmitting the HPV.
So, the question: are we gonna have to get Surgeon General warnings on our penises now?
Probably.
Yes,
I
for
gotta
size
call
and
up.
also for the possibility of throat cancer.
I gotta call up Suki and see if she all right, because
Yes,
sometimes
yes.
because I know we just had her here. And Yeah. we didn't tell her this news. No,
we didn't.
So I hope she watching today. Thank you, Tez.
I know
Jeez.
this is important.
Okay, so let's see if that can be transmitted through kissing real quick. Let's see. Okay, so it looks like it's rare. It looks like it's rare, you know what I mean? But I don't think you can get it from kissing. Well, actually, it says that it can actually increase the risk if you do deep kissing. So yeah, just be careful out there, guys. But if you tuned in, thank you for tuning in. I did kind of dive south on this one, but I mean, why don't I close up with another bricks video? So I want you to like think of BRICS as, better pastures, and think of the dollar as the American woman, okay? Give me a minute. So as you see, Nigeria has gold as well. Okay. You see it. It wants to join BRICS, right? Let's see. It looks like Algeria has gold. Okay. Let's look at the countries with the highest gold reserves real quick. Let's look. Let's check. Hmm. Hmm. Actually, I'm gonna save this video and I may go live tonight just to, since I don't have anything going on today, I may go live tonight and talk about this. Actually, as a matter of fact, I'm going to schedule it for tonight. I know I'm going live 2 times a day. I know I'm going in, but we need to talk about this. Fula signing out. Unjarama.